It's indeed a delightful moment to contact all of you from Annamalai University for this bachelor's program in Library and Information Science. We are going to see course 6, which is Cataloging Practicals. This course consists of two parts. Part 1, Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, and Part 2, Classified Cataloging Code. Let us see now Part 2 in detail, which is Classified Catalog Code. In short, it is termed as CCC. By now, you might be aware of the purpose and functions of cataloging, which you have learnt in Course 5, Cataloging Theory. Before starting the practicals, let us briefly go through some important theoretical aspects of cataloging so that it will be easy for you to follow this course. To begin with, let us see the origin of the word catalog. The term catalog has been derived from Greek phrase katalogos, K-A-T-A-L-O-G-O-S. Kata means according to or by, logos means word or reason or order. What is a catalog? It is a tool which gives information about the contents of the library. In other words, you can say it is a list of documents available in the library. Library catalog is an important tool. It reveals to the users or readers of the library what reading material is available. In order to provide access to the holdings of library, an index or a list of material is prepared and maintained for the readers. Basically, this tool is called as catalog. It gives information about the author, subject, title, publisher's details, edition, etc. Purpose of the catalog. Why do we require a catalog? The approach of the readers for a document may vary from person to person. Few may approach by subject or by title or by author or by collaborators like editor, translator, reviser, illustrator, etc. So, library catalog is an effective tool to locate a particular document from the library by its author, by subject, by title, or any other specification a user may look under. Now, shall we see the physical format of the cataloging card? Just have a look on the drawn picture. It has got 3 lines on it, 2 vertical lines and 1 horizontal line. All these 3 lines are given in red color. It can be drawn either in red or blue or green. It depends upon the choice of the library. The width of the card is 12.5 centimeter, I can say it's 5 inches, and the length of the card is 7.5 centimeter or 5 inches. And are you able to see a round mark in the bottommost of the card? It's not a round mark, it's a punch hole meant for holding this card in the library tray. So this is the physical format of any cataloging card. You have already studied the rules for cataloging of books and serials or periodicals according to Anglo-American cataloging rules. But AACR 2 is not the only cataloging code available. There are other codes too. Some of these are discussed in Course 5, Cataloging Theory. There is a code devised in our country which is known as Classified Cataloging Code, or fairly popular as CCC. The author of this code is Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, father of our library science. Genesis of Classified Cataloging Code. The foundation of this code was laid in the years of 1924 when S.R. Ranganathan was in England. The first edition of this code was published in 1934. Since then, it underwent several changes and successive editions were published in 1945, 1951, 1955 and 1964. Now, we shall study the 5th edition of Classified Cataloging Code published in 1964. Nature of the Classified Catalog. Classified Catalog consists of 2 parts, classified part and alphabetical part. Classified part contains call number or class number entries. It is also known as number entry. The entries are arranged in a definite logic order by its call number or class number. Hence, they serve as classified or systematic subject catalog. There are two entries in this part, main entry and cross-reference entry. What is main entry? It is a basic entry for a document. It gives maximum all information about a document. All the added entries are derived from this main entry. In CCC, the main entry are arranged according to the class number or book number. And what is cross-reference entry? It's a specific subject entry which mentions a portion of a document which is treated in the subject, or it is also called as subject analytical. The next part is alphabetical part. The alphabetical part contains all added entries which are arranged in alphabetical sequence. What is added entry? All entries other than main entry are added entries. The number and type of added entries that are to be prepared depends on the nature of a document. There are three entries in this alphabetical part: class index entry, book index entry, and cross-reference index entry. If you look into the classified part, we called it as, or we termed it as only entries, because it's just a record of the particular unit. Whereas if you look into the alphabetical part, we term it as index entry. Why so? Here we are going to specify or pinpoint some particular information. That's why it is termed as index entries. The first one is class index entry. It is a word entry derived by the chain procedure from the given class number of the main entry for a subject approach. What is book index entry? It is an added entry given for an author, title, collaborator, and series. The next one is cross-reference index entry. It directs the readers from one heading to another in the alphabetical part of the catalog. So these are all the classified part and alphabetical part. Now let us see the parts of the main entry in the classified catalog. There are 6 sections in the main entry of the classified catalog. The first one is leading section, the second one is heading section, the third one is title section, the fourth one is series or note section, fifth one is accession number, and the last one is the tracing section. And now we are going to start with the leading section of the main entry. Leading section is written on the horizontal line of the cataloging card, because a horizontal line can also be termed as a leading line. So in this, what we are going to write in this leading line? The call number of the document is written on the leading or horizontal line. We have to start from the first vertical line, the given class number, and leave 2 space and copy down the book number. So the class number and book number together is known as call number. Call number denotes the exact subject of the document, whereas the book number denotes the year of publication. Just for an example, let us take a document as Introduction to Economics. Here the class number for the subject economics is given as X. So in the leading line, starting from the first vertical, we are going to write X and then leave 2 space and go for the year of publication. For example, if the year of publication, we say it's 1987, it should be written as N87. Here the century, that is the 20th century, gets some artificial code as N, and it is written as N87. So this is the way of writing the call number in the leading section. And you have to remember always that the call number is written with pencil, because it is liable to change whenever the classification system changes in the library. And now let us go to the next section, which is the heading section. The name of the author is entered in this section, whom we can call as an author. A person who is chiefly responsible for the intellectual content of the document is known as author, or we can term it as heading section. The author can be single personal author, joint personal author, collaborators, joint collaborators, pseudonym authors, corporate authors, and sometimes it can be even the title of the document. Now we are going to see how to render the author's name. Heading can be divided into entry element, secondary element, individualizing element, and descriptive element. Entry element is written in block letters or capital letters, which denotes the surname of the author. Secondary element is written in running hand within parentheses, which denotes the personal name. Individualizing element is also written within parentheses, which denotes years of birth or death. And then comes a descriptive element. This denotes the description of role such as translator, editor, reviser and so on. How to write this? It's preceded by a comma by using an abbreviated form for the collaborators. So this is the descriptive element. Let us see one example for this. Let us take the name Rabindranath Tagore. A book has been translated by Rabindranath Tagore and the year for this author is given as 1861 to 1964. In this case, Tagore should be written in capital letters, which is our entry element, and Rabindranath within brackets, which is our secondary element, and the next bracket for the individualizing element, which is 1861 to 1964. Now we have to give the description for this person as a translator. So use a connecting symbol as comma and go for the abbreviated form for translator, which is TR dot underline. The descriptive element, while writing, it should be underlined. If it's going to be printed out, you should give it in the italics format. So this is the example to write the author's name in the cataloging card. The next one is our title section. This section consists of 5 parts: title, subtitle, edition, collaborator and volumes. Title is written by omitting the articles a, an or the if it is in the beginning. Subtitle is written as such, preceded by a colon. And when it comes to the edition, there are 2 informations in the edition: name of the edition and number of the edition. The number is written after the word ed, whereas the name is written before the word ed. Let us take one example as 3rd Indian edition. How to render this? It's rendered as Indian ed 3. So this is edition part. Then comes the collaborator. Here the information about the collaborator is written as such. Only thing, you have to abbreviate the format of the collaborator. Let us take once again an example. Translated by S.P. Rao. How to write this? We are going to render it as TR by S.P. Rao. This is collaborator information. The next one is the volume information. In volume we have got 3 different types: completed volumes, uncompleted volumes and missing volumes. For completed volumes, the number followed by the letter V is written. For example, if there is a book which is completed in 3 volumes, how to render? It's rendered as 3V. And for uncompleted volumes, the letter V followed by the published numbers. For example, out of 5 volumes, only volume 3 and 4 are published. How to write? We are going to write V3 hyphen comma 4 hyphen. So this is for uncompleted volume. The next one is missing volumes. Missing information is written within parentheses and the total number of volumes is written just like completed volumes. So by this the title section gets over. The next section is our series section, which is written within parentheses. This also consists of 3 parts: name of the series, editor of the series and number of the series. Name of the series is written by omitting the articles a and the if it is in the beginning, just like the title of the document. And the editor of the series is written as ed by, and for the series number only the number can be written. And all these sections, that is your heading, title and series section, should begin from the 2nd vertical and continuation of the same section goes to the 1st vertical. And now we are coming to the accession number, which is written in the bottommost line of the card. Accession number is written starting from the 1st vertical. What is this accession number? It's nothing but a serial number given to the library document. So main entry of CCC gets over with the accession number. So in the main entry we can write only 5 sections. The first one is leading section, which is written on the horizontal line, and below to the horizontal line we are starting the heading section where we write the author's name, and then comes the title section. Once again we start from the 2nd vertical, and then series section within parentheses starting from 2nd vertical, and in the bottommost we finish it with the accession number. So this is the main entry of CCC. Now let us see the tracing section. The tracing section is written on the back side of the main entry card. The purpose of the tracing section is to show what additional entries for a given document have been prepared. The back side of the card is divided into two equal halves, left half and right half. An imaginary line is drawn in the middle of the card. In the left half, we are going to enter the cross-reference entry, and in the right half, we are going to write the alphabetical part. Once again, the right half is divided into three parts, upper part, middle part and lower part. Upper part is meant for class index entry, where we are going to give information about the subject of the document. And in the middle part, we are going to render the book index entry, which gives information about the author, title, collaborator and series. And in the lower part, it's meant for cross-reference index entry. Now let us see how to prepare main entry, tracing section and added entries for various documents with different type of authors with worked out examples. Let us start with the examples for single personal author. For the above title page, we are going to see how to work out the main entry, tracing section and added entries. First, in the main entry, we have to start with the leading section where we write the call number. The call number consists of class number and book number. In this title page, the class number is T and the book number is 63. Just look where we have written the class number. It's written on the horizontal line starting from first vertical, and by leaving space towards the edge of the card, book number is written as N63. And then comes the heading section below to the horizontal line. Heading section begins from the second vertical. The name of the author is given in the title page as Percy Nunn. Here, Nunn is the entry element, which is surname of the author. So we have written it in capital letters. And the secondary element, which is Percy, is written within parentheses. So the heading section is over. And then comes the next section, which is a title section. In this title page, we have information only about the title. So we have copied down the title starting from second vertical. But for this example, we don't have any information like subtitle, edition, collaborator and volumes. And there is no information about the series. So we have come to the last section, which is our accession number. It is written starting from the first vertical in the bottommost of the card. But you have to remember that this class number and book number is written with pencil. And after the main entry, we have to do the tracing section. The upper part of the tracing section is meant for class index entry. Class index entry is derived from the chain procedure for the given class number. What is the class number here? The class number is T, which denotes the main class of education. So the first class index is education. Here there is only one class number, so the class index is going to be only 1. And then after the class index, middle part is meant for the book index. In book index, we can have author, title, collaborator and series. But in this case, we have only the author information. Author information is written as such from the heading section of the main entry. So copy down the name, surname in normal handwritten and within parenthesis the secondary element. And then comes the second one, we call it as a title index entry. Title index cannot be prepared for all type of titles. It can be prepared if it is a fanciful title or proper noun title. What do you mean by fanciful title? It does not reveal the subject. That means from the title, it's not possible to know the subject directly. In this case, the subtitle is education, where the subject also is education. So it's not possible to have a title index entry. And then there is no collaborator or series, so there is no other book index entry and there is no cross-reference index. And after this tracing, now we are going to see the added entries. From the tracing, we are doing the added entries. The first one is class index entry. The class index entry has got 3 sections. In the leading line or horizontal line, we copy the information from the tracing section in capital letters starting from first vertical. So here the subject is education. We have written it in full capital letters. And the second section, which begins from the second vertical and continuation goes to first vertical. This section is known as directing words. What is the directing words? For documents in this class and its subdivision, see the classified part of the catalog under the class number. The classified part of the catalog is nothing but the main entry. That means if any reader approached by the subject, we are asking them to look into the main entry of the catalog, so it will be easy for them to retrieve the document. So in the second section, we use the directing words, and the third section, which is written in the right side of the card, which denotes the class number for the word what is written in the horizontal line. So the number for education is T. So any class index entry will have three sections, that is the leading section, directing words, and the given class number. And the next added entry is for author, which is known as author index entry. Once again, we copy down the author's name in the horizontal line, starting from the first vertical in caps and the rest of the names within parentheses in normal handwritten. If any reader approaches by author's name, what will be the requirement? Obviously, it is the title. So for author's approach, we are giving the title of the document below the horizontal line, starting from the second vertical. And the third section, we are giving the index number. Index number is nothing but the call number of the document, which is TN63. This is the class number and this is the book number. When we write it in the added entry, we don't call them as a call number, but we call it as a index number. Example for joint personal author. For the above title, the worked out answer. First, the class number is written as H, starting from the first vertical, and the book number by leaving 2 or 3 space towards the right edge of the card, which is N35. Here in this case, we have got two authors. First, you have to see which one is the principal author. The one which is given in thick letters or the first one should be taken as your main author. So here the format of both the authors are in the same way. So we have taken the first one as the principal author. So we have written Branson as the surname of the author, within parentheses the initial of the author. You have to remember, between the initials you should not keep a dot, but instead leave a space. And to connect both the authors, we are using the word and copy down the second author in the same format, that is entry element in caps, which is star, and within parentheses the initial of the person. And comes the title section, which is introduction to geology. In this title also, we don't have any other information apart from the title, and the bottommost we have copied down the accession number. Now let us see the tracing section. First one is the class index entry, which is derived from the class number. H denotes geology main class, so we have written the word geology. And then comes the book index. The first one is the author index. Here we have got two authors, so we are copying it in the same way, Branson EB and Tar WA. If there is no space to continue, the continuation should be taken by leaving 2 space in the next line, because these both comes in the same index entry, that is author index number 1. In this case, we have got two authors. The approach of the reader can be either by the name Branson or even it can be by the name Tar. But when they arrange it in the alphabetical order. So if you do it like this, this Branson will be arranged in the alphabetical order B. If some reader approaches by the name Tar, we have to make one more added entry in the name of Tar as a first author. So we are preparing a vice versa, that is the second author comes in the first place, Tar within parentheses WA and Branson EB. So here, if we have two authors, we have to prepare 2 author index entry. So totally we have got 3 index entries in this tracing section, 1 for class index and 2 for author index, which comes under book index entry.